Hello. I was very fortunate back in 1975 to receive an Australia Council grant to study antique ceramics at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So in July of that year, I spent 5 weeks in New York and made daily visits to the Met to fulfill this assignment. The Curator of Western Arts at that time was a delightful lady whose name was Jessie McNab Dennis. She organised for me to view whatever I wanted to from the huge collection in the storerooms, under the watchful eye of a white-gloved curator. I wasn't allowed to handle anything, but I still managed to examine a huge array of many and various wonderful pieces of antiques, mainly English, pottery and porcelain. I took 35mm colour slides at that time, and in this series of videos I will show you some of these pieces, beginning with the pieces from the wonderful Dr. Wall Worcester period. This delightful trio of sugar pot and lid, an oval dish and a tea caddy and lid are decorated in the hop vine and trellis pattern, which was copied by Worcester from the Sèvres porcelain of the period. The patterns on these plates are both inspired by Japanese porcelain of the period. The Japan fan pattern on the right and the Kakeiamon design on the left. Here are 4 examples which are finished in apple green enamel with exotic birds and floral patterns in the reserves. Renowned Worcester artist Jeffress Hammett O'Neill painted the dish on the left, and a Chinese ho-ho bird adorns this Sir Joshua Reynolds pattern plate on the right. This is a cabbage leaf dish decorated in scale blue with floral reserves and exquisite gilding. This beautiful transfer printed design on a mug is of Queen Charlotte, the wife of George III. This is a transfer print by Worcester's foremost printmaker, Robert Hancock. This lovely trio is part of a Worcester service made for the Duke of Gloucester. It shows the incredible example of fruit painting by the outside decoration workshop of James Giles in London. This marvellous potpourri jar has a perforated cover. It is painted with a gross blue ground. It has exotic birds in the reserves with rococo scrolled handles. It is embellished with modelled floral decorations. A lovely reticulated basket with exotic birds. Reticulation describes the fine cut-out work done at the leather hard stage with a very fine knife to create this type of finish. An exquisitely hand-painted decoration in a rich carmine enamel glorifies this plate. It has a rural scene surrounded by a scale pattern in floral scrolls design border. Here we have a butter tub and a plate in scale blue with exotic birds and insects and superbly honey gilded. They were probably also painted at the Giles factory in London, which specialised in decorating Worcester porcelains. The Worcester factory was renowned for these cabbage leaf moulded mask jugs, once again with these remarkably beautifully enamelled decorations and gilding. The blue part was painted on the jug before the first bisque firing, and the enamelling was done after the glazing. Here is a close-up of that beautiful reserve. Here is another fine example of another reticulated basket painted after the style of the Japanese porcelains of the period. From the left, we have a sparrow-beaked jug, a sparrow-beaked jug and lid, a slop bowl and a teapot. They are all decorated with a painted-over transfer print of rural and classical themes. This is a lovely two-handled sauceboat with added enamel decorations, and these two delightful coslettus moulded sauceboats are simply enhanced with some enamel and are about the 1757 to 58 period of production. This very large fruit painted platter also comes from the Duke of Gloucester service. On the reverse would have been a gold crescent mark of the Worcester factory. Here are three Worcester teapots. The two on the left are enamelled in Oriental-inspired designs, and the one on the right is underglaze hand-painted in cobalt blue with a Chinese dragon image. Another brilliant example of the work of the James Giles workshop in London, with this gorgeous claret ground bell-shaped mug and a plate with exotic birds and flowers and superb gilding. These two plates are showing transfer prints in black by Robert Hancock. The one on the left is the Tea Party. His initials with the word Worcester and the anchor can be clearly seen, and the print on the right is called the Milkmaids. This covered basket and stand is often referred to as a roast chestnut basket. The body, cover and stand are moulded with flower and honeycomb diaper and embossed with applied handmade flowers, twig handles and leaves, then painted in on-glaze enamels. It is dated from 1768 to 1776. Henry Sandon illustrated the cover of his book, The Illustrated Guide to Worcester Porcelain, with a picture of this magnificent ceramic masterpiece. The next video will be about tin glazed earthenwares.